listen to me, I'm talking. I'm assuming you graduated from high school, right? You went through 8th grade.
If there's evidence provided against me, I have a right to defend myself using that very same
That was the question I asked you.
That's
You do have a right to defend yourself, Mr. Kramer. I'm just
my right for violence.
I'm talking, you are not. Don't stop talking and listen to me so I can go through my speech. I will send you over to the gym.
You're the one that signed the warrant for my arrest while I was in jail.
I don't know that. I don't remember.
Yes, you did do that.
Okay. I'm allowed to do that.
No, you violated my rights.
Okay.
I'm not going to take any of the attorneys from here because they're all.
A man facing up to 4 years in prison decided to represent himself in court. Despite only having an 8th grade education, he was confident he could take on the legal system without a lawyer. The judge, however, wasn't amused. Things got especially tense once it became clear that his understanding of the law came from the internet rather than real legal training. Let me know what you think. Was the judge being too strict? Some people say she could have been more patient, but the truth is, courtrooms aren't the place for theories found on social media. Let's take a look at how this case unfolded and what happened when the man's arguments didn't hold up in front of a real judge. This man truly believed he could handle his case on his own. He let go of his
FH. This is the date and time set for a final pretrial conference. Today was the motion deadline for both motions and motion in limines to be heard. Jury instructions were to be provided to the court by April 2nd, along with any proposed voir dire questions. We are set for trial on April 22nd of 2025. Ms. Kramer, you are charged with police officer resisting and obstructing causing injury, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 4 years in prison. Police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing, that carries up to 2 years in prison. There's 2 of those. And then there's a disorderly. And what is the plea offer in this file?
Your Honor, the people have offered to a plea of 2 counts to attempted R&O.
All right.
So 2 misdemeanors, and we would kill a brute to no upfront jail.
All right. Mr. Raymer, the plea offer in this case was to plead to 2 one-year misdemeanors with no upfront jail. And there'd be like 12 months or so of probation, some minimal fines and costs. Do you understand that? All right. Now, Mr. Raymer, I'm assuming you graduated from high school, right?
8th grade.
You went through 8th grade, and this is a felony that could result in you going to prison. Why don't you stand in front of that podium for me? So, do you understand an attorney can help guide you through the legal process?
Yes, I tried to have. I almost had a public defender. Unfortunately, she wasn't representing me appropriately. I had asked for another one, but
so I have no authority over who gets appointed. You were appointed an attorney.
I understand that, but when they're not representing you appropriately,
Okay, I didn't ask that. I'm just saying you have a right to an attorney. I know the attorney you're referring to. She's diligent. She works hard. Maybe you didn't like. I know when I was a public defender, sometimes my clients didn't like what I. Listen to me. I'm talking. My clients didn't like the things that I told them. But, her job isn't to do what you want. Her job is to represent the law. So you understand at this point, you can hire an attorney, or you can go with the public defender and whoever they assign you, or you can go to trial pro per with no law degree, no experience, and
Yes.
risk going to prison. You're going to represent yourself.
I'm gonna represent. I ain't got no choice but to represent.
Have you provided your jury questions, the voir dire questions? Because if you haven't, they're waived.
If there's
They were due.
If there's evidence provided against me, I have a right to defend myself using that very same.
That wasn't the question I asked you.
That's
You do have
exactly
a right to defend yourself, Mr. Kramer. I'm just
my
simply-
right for violence.
I'm talking, you are not. If you don't stop talking and listen to me so I can go through my speech, I will send
attorney as casually as someone might cancel a rideshare and came to court with legal points he likely found online. A friend of mine once tried something similar for a traffic ticket after watching a video on YouTube. Long story short, he lost the case and had to pay even more in fines. Some people think saying, "I don't consent" in court has legal power, but that's simply not true. And when you repeatedly interrupt a judge, you run the risk of being held in contempt, which can make things even worse for your case. This individual also claimed that all public defenders are untrustworthy, instead of legal professionals. He wanted his family members, his parents and aunt, to testify. It started to feel less like a court case and more like a family gathering. Realistically, there wasn't much they could say to help.
All right. You have not filed any motions. Jury instructions were due and voir dire questions were due. You have not provided those. We gave you a copy of this. So do you understand whatever received is what will be used? Yes or no?
I will be allowed to ask my question.
What question?
When I'm cross-examining, I will get my.
I'm talking about jury questions. I'm talking about jury instructions and voir dire questions. You understand now? You didn't file. Listen, I know, but you waived that because you have not provided it. Do you understand that? You understand that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I didn't understand that.
Okay. Well, I can't advise you of the law because I'm not an attorney. I'm a judge.
No, but you.
So
looking at the case, you've been presiding over my case for 3 years now.
I know. It's fine. You're going to go to
You're the
trial.
one that signed the warrant for my arrest while I was in jail.
I don't know that. I don't remember.
Yes, you did do that.
Okay. I'm allowed to do that.
No, you violated my rights.
Okay. Well, you have options. You can file a complaint with the JTC if you'd like. So, are you prepared to go to trial?
Absolutely.
Have you provided your witness list?
I haven't yet, but I will.
Okay, that was due.
My witness list was provided when Ms. Underwood was my attorney.
Okay.
And my witness list is
Have you subpoenaed any witnesses that were not on the prosecutor's raised just eyewitness?
yes. My witnesses are the ones that was there at the scene.
No.
And yes,
Do you understand that you have to provide a witness list and you have to provide a copy to the prosecutor? Do you understand that?
prosecutor, I gotta provide what to him?
So if you're going to have witnesses at trial, you need to make sure the prosecutor has their name and contact information so that they could interview them prior to trial if they want. Do you understand that?
Well, they got all that information.
They do?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Yes. My witnesses are my parents and my aunt.
okay, I don't know. Are those on, if they're not on the people's witness?
Curtis, Clooney,
Okay. If you haven't provided a witness list and they're not on the people's list, you understand you won't be able to call them.
Okay, I will provide information. I
Okay.
will provide that information.
I'm just telling you. So you need to make sure that there's a witness list in the file that was provided to the people.
So I gotta re-provide it.
I don't know. Go back and look at what
I'll
witness
just-
list has been filed, their name, their contact information, and then any subpoenas you have to do. If you have to subpoena anybody to be present, you need to get those filed this week. And then the court signs them, and then you serve those people with those. Do you understand? Now, do you understand when we go to trial, a lot of times some of the questions you ask or he asks may be objected to, and it's not personal. It's just, we have to follow the law. Okay.
I'm allowed to object to though, right?
Huh?
I'm allowed to object to.
You are, and then you have to provide the basis for that objection. Okay, so you need to understand your objections. So you might want to do some research to understand.
I've been doing
Good. You sure you don't want a public defender for trial? You sure you don't want an attorney for trial?
I'm not gonna take any of the attorneys.
Help his legal situation. The judge gave him several chances to follow proper procedure, but he didn't take them. Eventually, it became clear that he wasn't prepared to represent himself fairly. Let us know what you thought of the judge's response, and stay tuned for another unusual case coming up in the next case. Someone tried using similar arguments to avoid paying rent. The judge stayed calm, but it was hard not to notice how off track the tenant's reasoning was. At one point, even the plaintiff seemed confused by what he was hearing. You really have to admire the patience of judges in these situations. You ever wondered whether these arguments are sincere or just a way to avoid responsibility? It's tough to say. Maybe it's a mix of both. Share your thoughts. We'd love to.
All right, the court will call the case of the Rentals of Rosebrook versus A Nice Battle, case number 25C-1245.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of the plaintiff.
Ms. Battle, please hit star 6. Unmute your device.
Hello? Hello?
Please state.
It's Denise Battle on a special appearance for the record. That's the jurisdiction and the facts for this court.
Yep. All right. Well, Ms. Battle, I'll tell you that this matter is appropriately in the correct court. The court does have jurisdiction.
And it's based on what? What is on the record that it's based on that the court has jurisdiction?
The fact that this is a case that is within the jurisdiction of the Township of Ypsilanti, and if you have issues related to any contracts, that would be within this jurisdiction as well. So all of that is within the jurisdiction of this court.
So you're saying that the contract is in jurisdiction of the court?
That is what I just said, ma'am.
All right, and the contract has been rescinded. So how is the contract in the jurisdiction of the court if it's invalid?
Will gets to rescind a contract on their own. That's
What are you talking about? I have the right to rescind a contract by right of common law.
Ms. Battle,
That doesn't involve court.
ma'am, you need to stop talking or you're going to get held in contempt of court. Mr. Fantier, have you had a chance to talk to Ms. Battle? Talk to Ms.
You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Mr. Fantera, do you need to speak with her, or are we ready?
If you want me to speak to her, I'll speak to her. She talks about rescinding the contract. Does that mean she's moving out?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
Are you moving out?
Are you moving out?
No. Why would I have to move out?
Because if you rescind a contract, okay, fine. Your Honor, I think let's set this for trial.
Okay. One moment.
This case has also been in the circuit court. A petition filed for an injunction. I did serve you all. It is set on the 30th.
Yes, ma'am. I heard.
We're aware.
Okay. And once again, I do not submit to the jurisdiction of the court. The contract is rescinded.
To hear what you think. If you're not planning to pay rent, signing a lease isn't a great idea. The logic behind some of these cases just doesn't add up. In one situation, you could hear children in the background while their parent insisted laws didn't apply to them. That part was hard to watch. It's one thing to hold unusual beliefs as an adult, but when those ideas start to affect children, it becomes a much more serious concern. What do you think? Is raising kids with this mindset harmful, or is it simply a different perspective on life? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share your thoughts below. Your support means a lot, and we'll see you in the next one.